Imagine this. It's 1 in the morning, Atlanta, Georgia. A camo-wrapped Tesla Cybertruck is flying down the road, 70 miles per hour, in a 45 zone. Police lights come on, car pulls over. Officer walks up to the window and sees a grown man sitting there in a full yellow Pikachu Pokemon onesie with a gun sitting right there on the dashboard. Officer says the words every driver dreads hearing. "Sir, step out of the vehicle." And this man looks him dead in the eye and says,
Stepping out, and we're gonna talk right here real quick, back here.
About what?
You need to step out of the vehicle.
Step out for what?
There's a firearm in this vehicle.
There is a pattern here, and T.I. has spoken about this pattern publicly, multiple times, on podcasts, in interviews, because watching your son keep making the same choices that is a pain no father wants to carry. T.I. himself went through the legal system. He knows exactly what those walls look like from the inside. He served time, he came back, he rebuilt, and now he is watching his own son walk towards that same edge. Keep all of that in your mind, because it makes what happens next hit even harder. April 12th, 2026, around 1 in the morning, Gwinnett County, Georgia, near Holcomb Bridge Road and Peachtree Corners Circle, just outside Atlanta. A Gwinnett County officer is on regular patrol, and then he spots something. A camo-wrapped Tesla Cybertruck, moving fast, too fast. The officer clocks it 70 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone. And here is something that tells you everything about how fast this car was moving. The officer himself had to push his own vehicle to 80 miles per hour just to catch up to it. He hits the lights. The Cybertruck slows down and pulls over. Officer approaches the window. And immediately, before anything else even happens, he notices something that changes this from a simple speeding ticket into something much more serious. About what? Bro, there's a gun on your dashboard. The officer can see it, you can see it, and your response is about what? That one moment right there set off a chain of events that ended with T.I. himself pulling up to that police scene at 2 in the morning, trying to save his son, and still walking away empty-handed. Today, we are breaking down the full story, the body cam footage, the arrest, T.I.'s reaction on scene, and what this whole situation really means for this family going forward. Stay with me, because this story goes from funny to real serious real fast. Before we get into the arrest, you need to understand who King Harris actually is, because this is not just some random celebrity kid who nobody knows. This is the son of T.I. Clifford Joseph Harris Jr., one of the biggest names to ever come out of Atlanta. A man who dominated hip-hop for decades. A man who built an empire. And King Harris has been building his own name. He raps, he has a following, he carries that Harris name with him everywhere he goes. Now, just weeks before this arrest happened, King Harris was on the other side of the world, in Tokyo, Japan, living his absolute best life, wearing that same Pikachu onesie, go-kart racing, posting videos, looking like a man without a single care in the world. Then he came back to Atlanta, and Atlanta had a very different welcome waiting for him. But here is what people need to understand about King Harris, and this is important context before we get into that night. This was not his first time in this situation. Back in 2024, King Harris was arrested in Dunwoody, Georgia, almost hit a police officer leaving a gas station, had a warrant out for failure to appear, had marijuana in the car, got arrested. So when people say this came out of nowhere, it didn't.
His Tesla Cybertruck going 70 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone. The Gwinnett County Police Department released video of his arrest and their conversation with his dad. So let's just listen to what happened.
He slowed down, but his slowing down is to 60.
A firearm, right there, on the dashboard, in plain sight of both the officer and the driver. And next to it, an open THC container sitting in the center console. At this point, protocol is crystal clear. You ask the driver to step outside. You create distance between them and the weapon. Standard procedure, happens every single day. But King Harris had a completely different response.
You're speeding, you don't have anything on you, I'm separating you from the firearm. All right, are you gonna get out of the car or not?
I don't tell me why.
I already told you why.
You didn't
Pennsylvania
tell me
versus Mims. Are you getting out or not?
You're not telling me
If you
why.
do not get out of the car, you'll be arrested for obstruction. All right, if you do not get out of the car, you will be arrested for obstruction.
Pennsylvania versus Mims. The officer cited a Supreme Court case right there on the side of the road at 1 a.m. That case specifically gives law enforcement the legal right to order a driver out of their vehicle during a lawful traffic stop. It is established law. It is not debatable. And King Harris still did not move. He called his lawyer, had a conversation on the phone, argued back and forth with the officers, asked them why he needed to step out, questioned everything. Meanwhile, there is a gun on the dashboard, 2 feet from everybody's face. The tension in that car was building with every passing second.
Detained.
Stay in my car. Hey, Quinn, so I'm pulled over right now, and they telling me I got to get out the car for what reason?
Because we're gonna have a conversation back at the back of the
They
car.
want to have a conversation.
You need to get out of the
with me in
car.
back.
Doesn't matter
I'm
why.
doing that.
But you are under arrest at this point, so you need to get out of your car right now.
He is on the phone with someone named Quinn while the officers are standing right there, asking them to explain why they want him to step out. The officer's answer was simple. We want to talk to you away from the firearm. That's it. But King Harris was not moving. And after multiple warnings, multiple explanations, multiple references to the law, the officers made their decision.
We're gonna have a conversation back at the back of the
They
car.
want to have a conversation.
You need to get out of
with
the
me in
car.
back.
Doesn't matter
I'm
why.
doing that.
But you are under arrest at this point, so you need to get out of your car right now.
All right. So this make y'all feel tough.
Does this make y'all feel tough? He said that to the officers after they put the handcuffs on him in a Pikachu onesie. And then what happened at home with y'all? What y'all so upset about? Bro, you are under arrest with a felony charge building, and you are asking the officers about their home life. This is either the most unbothered person alive or someone who genuinely did not understand how serious this moment was. Because during the booking process at the jail, things got even more serious. Officers found a pill on King Harris, identified as oxycodone, a Schedule II controlled substance. This was no longer just obstruction and a speeding ticket. This was now a felony drug possession charge. Now, this is the part of the story that hit different for a lot of people, because while King Harris was sitting in the back of that police car at 2 in the morning, someone got a call, and T.I. showed up. Think about what that moment looks like from T.I.'s perspective. You are one of the most respected names in Atlanta. You have been through the system yourself. You know exactly what a felony charge means. You know exactly what can happen next. And your son, your 21-year-old son, is sitting in handcuffs in a Pikachu onesie with a gun charge and a drug charge on his record. And you pull up to that scene, what do you even say?
From the car because there was a gun on the dashboard, but he refused to get out. T.I. arrives to the scene. Let's take a listen to T.I. when he pulls up.
Hey, Alvarez, how's it going?
Yeah, my son detained.
Yes, sir. He's currently under arrest for obstruction,
Okay.
as well as a variety of other traffic charges.
Right.
Yeah, he was caught doing 70 in a 45. He was instructed to step out of the vehicle because there was a firearm on the dashboard, and we wanted to separate him from that, and he refused.
Did he express his fear for safety?
We got to be safe too. He's right there with John. Right.
Understood.
Yeah, I don't know.
So there's absolutely no way to resolve this.
No, he was told multiple times that he needed to get out of the vehicle. He was even told that, according to Supreme Court case law, he is required to exit a vehicle when he is requested to do so by a law enforcement officer. Pennsylvania versus Mims. He stated
Absolutely no way to resolve this. That sentence right there. T.I. asked the officers directly, is there any way to fix this right now? Is there anything we can do? And the officer's answer was no, because King Harris had been warned multiple times, given every opportunity to simply step out of the car, told about the law, told about the consequences, and he still refused. By the time T.I. arrived, the decision had already been made. The arrest was already done. The charges were already filed. T.I. could not undo any of it. He stood there on that street at 2 in the morning, one of the most powerful figures in Atlanta hip-hop, and there was absolutely nothing he could do for his son that night. Officers actually used King's own phone to call someone to come pick up the Cybertruck and the gun from the scene, because King was going to jail. and T.I. had to watch that happen.
Had a conversation with police saying, did my son say that there were any concerns for his safety? Why did you guys want him out of the car? So Gwinnett County Police did release that video. So we have shown it to you all because we think it's only fair that you see it and make the judgments for yourselves. I did say that this is a...
T.I. was asking the same questions King was asking. Was there a safety concern? Why did he need to exit the vehicle? The answers were the same. Gun on the dashboard, separation protocol, legal requirement. And here is what the Breakfast Club pointed out that adds another layer to this whole situation.
King should have just gotten out the car, but we all know how it feels to be blackanoid, which is black and paranoid in America. And King did say he didn't feel safe. So I understand that, but I also know that talking to cops like that ain't going well either.
No. But you got to know the law too. If you're talking law, you got to know law, right? So if you're doing something which is a violation, which is doing 70 to 45, you have a firearm in your car, right? And the police are saying, hey, we need you to step out the car because we want to separate you from the firearm. You weren't being arrested at that point. You were being detained.
Yeah, but you still, I can still understand his fear. You know what I'm saying? You in the car by yourself. You got a gun on the hood. You got two officers right there. I can understand his fear of not wanting to get out the car.
And this is where the conversation gets real, because there are two sides to what King Harris did that night. Side one, he was wrong. He was speeding. He had a gun on his dashboard. He had drugs, and he refused a lawful order from police. That is legally indefensible. Side two, a young black man alone in a car at 1 a.m. with two officers outside and a gun right there. The fear that creates is real, and it is something that a lot of people in this country understand deeply. But here is the thing the Breakfast Club said that cuts through everything.
Cops always used to say, you can fight in the court, but you can't fight the police officer right then and there. The whole priority is to make it home, right? You make it home, we could fight. But if you can't make it home, we can't do anything about it.
You can fight in the court, but you can't fight the police officer right then and there. That is wisdom that has been passed down in black families for generations. T.I. knows that wisdom. He has lived it. He has preached it. And on that night, his own son didn't apply it. Now, after everything that happened that night, the arrest, the felony charge, his father showing up and being turned away, you would think King Harris would go quiet. Lay low, let things settle, talk to his lawyers, stay off social media. Absolutely not. King Harris got released on bond later that morning, and the first thing he did was go straight to Instagram, still in the Pikachu onesie. He posted a video of himself in a go-kart, rapping, unbothered, like the last 8 hours never happened. And his caption? Living a good Pikachu life in Tokyo, then come back to ATL and Team Rocket the police. Catch me with a Master Ball and throw me in jail all night. Team Rocket, from Pokemon, the villains. He compared his arrest to being caught by the Pokemon villains. And then in another post, he said things that I genuinely cannot repeat on this channel. The internet erupted. Comments were split right down the middle. Half the people were crying, laughing. The Pikachu mugshot became one of the most shared images of the week. People were making memes, editing his face into actual Pokemon scenes. But the other half of the comments were genuinely worried, because underneath the jokes, this man has a felony charge in Georgia, where the legal system is not known for being lenient, and he is out here making Pokemon references.
So many people were talking about yesterday. Yes, you might have heard him mentioning American Deli. If you're from the Atlanta metro area, you know that's a popular wing stop here. It sounds like he was trying to give that in reference to where officers could pick up the gun.
He was giving the officers directions to pick up his gun using Atlanta food spot references. American Deli, 7050. If you are from Atlanta, you know exactly what that means. Only in Atlanta, only King Harris. But again, funny on the surface, serious underneath. Now let us zoom all the way out, because this story is not just about one arrest, one night, one Pikachu onesie. This story is about a father and a son, and the moment when a father realizes he cannot save his child anymore. T.I. has been speaking about King Harris publicly for years. He has talked about trying to keep him grounded, trying to steer him away from the wrong choices, trying to be present in a way that maybe his own father was not present for him. And anyone who has followed this family knows this is not the first conversation T.I. has had about his son's decisions. But King Harris is 21 years old now. He is a legal adult. Every choice he makes, the gun on the dashboard, the refusal to comply, the drugs, those are H.I.'s choices now, not T.I.'s. And here is the reality of those charges stacking up. Felony possession of a Schedule II controlled substance in Georgia, willful obstruction of law enforcement, speeding, seatbelt violation. The felony alone can carry serious prison time depending on how the DA decides to move forward. T.I. himself served time in federal prison. He knows what that system looks like from the inside. He came out and rebuilt his entire life, and now he is standing on the side of a road at 2 in the morning watching his son potentially walk into that same system. And there is nothing he can do.
That, he doesn't have to, he doesn't want to. And it wasn't until his lawyer called him back and said, you need to get out of the car right now. When he got out of the car, was placed under arrest.
Here is one detail that nobody is talking about enough. The officers could not convince King Harris to get out of the car. The law could not convince him. The threat of arrest could not convince him. But the moment his lawyer called him back and said, get out of the car right now, he got out. He listened to his lawyer before he listened to the police, before he listened to the law, before he listened to common sense. That tells you something important about how King Harris thinks. And honestly, in some ways, it might actually save him. Because if he listens to his legal team going forward, there might still be a path through this. But if he keeps treating serious situations like content for his Instagram story, the consequences are going to catch up in a way that no amount of Pokemon references can fix. So let's bring it all the way home. April 12th, 2026, 1 a.m., Gwinnett County, Georgia. King Harris, son of T.I. and Tiny, gets pulled over in a camo Cybertruck doing 70 in a 45. Gun on the dashboard, drugs in the car. Refuses to get out, gets arrested. Felony charge filed. T.I. pulls up, tries everything. Officers say there is absolutely no way to resolve this. T.I. walks away without his son. King gets out on bond and makes Pokemon jokes on Instagram. And now he faces charges that could follow him for the rest of his life. The funny part of this story is obvious. The Pikachu onesie is hilarious. The Team Rocket caption made the whole internet laugh. The American Deli directions to pick up the gun are genuinely one of the most Atlanta things that has ever happened. But underneath every single joke is a real story. A 21-year-old young man with every resource in the world available to him. A famous father who has been through the system and came back. A family that has played out its entire journey in the public eye. And a night where T.I. showed up and still could not save him. The question going forward is simple. Will King Harris show up for himself? Because T.I. pulled up that night. The next person who needs to pull up is King Harris. Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Did King Harris handle this wrong? Should T.I. cut him off? Or do you understand where King was coming from? And if this video gave you the full story that nobody else told you, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to this channel because we do not do half stories here. We bring you everything, every time.